Hey friends, so today we're going to be looking at lunges. Lunges are one of my favorite at-home leg exercises, but I found when I was a trainer that they're not as easy to learn as you would think. And so I want to start today with a series of 5 progressions, starting from the very easiest motion all the way up to a really challenging motion where you're balancing and doing a lunge. And so this will give you plenty of progression, plenty of time to improve, a couple different exercises to try. Keep in mind as you try these exercises that if there's anything that's uncomfortable or doesn't feel right, you have pain or soreness or stiffness the next day that you wouldn't expect, then you want to go see a personal trainer who's certified and can take a really good look at your form, can also talk to you about any pre-existing conditions or injuries that you might need to be aware of. And of course, you're always welcome to send me a message or even better, a video of you performing these exercises, and I'm always happy to take a look. So let's get started. The first exercise we're going to do is going to require either a chair or something where you can rest your hand for balance. So I find these chairs from, I think I got this at Home Depot for $20. It's such a functional piece of exercise equipment. I love it, but you could use a countertop or something if you needed to. So the very first movement we're going to learn is just a supported stationary lunge, the very basic concept. So I'm going to put my right hip right next to my hand. I've got my hand firmly placed on the chair. I don't ever use the chair to push off of. I just use it for balance. And then I'm going to take a big step back with my left leg. Now before we start, I just want to warn you that you're going to hear my ankles crackle and pop a good bit while we do these. Anytime I do leg exercises, it happens. I apologize in advance. I play soccer for a lot of years and have tons of ankle injuries. It doesn't hurt when it does it, so I'm okay. I'm sorry it's a little annoying, but it just comes with the territory. So, okay, let's get started. So we're going to have this really wide angle here. Probably the biggest challenge that most people face is not getting this angle wide enough. I'll show you what I mean. When I first start teaching lunges to somebody that hasn't done them, they tend to want to be really tight to keep that back leg closed because it feels more stable to them. Sometimes it's a matter of hip flexibility as well. But what happens when your legs are in too close, when you go to lower down, you run out of runway here. You can't really go any deeper. It's really challenging. So they end up leaning forward. When you lean forward, you put the knee over the toe. So my knee, if I drew a line from the floor, from my knee to the floor, be past my toe right here. It's a lot of pressure on the front of the knee. Lunges are hard enough. We don't want extra pain in the knee. Okay, so take a big step back, and if you're not sure, step back even further. We want lots of room to move, and then we want to move straight down. We're going to be dropping and bending that back knee toward the floor, and we're going to be moving our body straight down toward the floor, keeping this knee over the ankle and nowhere near that front toe. Okay, so I'll show you what the full movement looks like. We drop down toward the floor and we push back up. Now keep in mind, for some of you, it's going to be difficult to get all the way to the floor with the right form and technique. You'll get about to here and your tendency will be to go forward. I want you to get right to here and push right back up if that's as far as you can go. I'd rather you do a shorter movement and build up over time than go here and move forward. Okay, so watch yourself, video, mirror, friend, spouse, have somebody watch you, they can watch this video. What they're looking for is the knee to go straight down and your knee in the front to stay right over that ankle, okay? You just press through the full motion. Beautiful. So you'll do that on both sides, same thing. Move the chair up, left hip by left hand, big step back. Look how wide that angle is. So what you're looking for. And then you're going to drop that back knee toward the floor and push right back up. Perfect. So that's the motion. Step 1. It's okay if you stay here for a good while. Those are hard. You're going to build strength. As long as you're working towards 15 repetitions and they're still challenging, no rush to change to the next exercise. But when you're ready, the next exercise involves one of the most fancy pieces of exercise equipment we keep in our house, and that's the paper plate. So they make expensive little glider discs that you can buy on Amazon. If you want a glider disc, go for it. But these work beautifully on most surfaces. And for those that are super smooth, like hardwood floor or tile, that maybe they don't slide as well, a kitchen towel works great, or a washcloth. So you just need something that you can put under your foot that's going to slide really well. And as long as you're supported here, you don't have to worry that you're going to lose your balance. So I'm going to take the paper plate. It's going to go under the left foot. Right hip is right near the chair. Hand has a nice firm grip. And you're going to be sliding back and dropping the knee. Okay? This is going to be more challenging than just going up and down because you're having to maintain that tension in your hips and legs throughout the full range of motion. Okay, again, be careful not to go forward. You're holding the position with the right hip. All motion is backward, and at the very end is down. Okay? Back, 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 drop the knee. Okay, one more time. Reaching back, 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 drop the knee. Okay, so I'll show you from the other side. Progression number 2, slider lunges. Left hip, right by the left hand. Paper plate in place. Back, 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 drop the knee again. Okay? You're going to reach, 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 drop the knee. You're going to be pulling from that left hip and glute to bring that leg back in. You'll also feel the front of the right hip. Beautiful. So those are your slider lunges. It's progression number 2. The next progression is going to involve another way to make the exercise more challenging, and that's going to be adding weight. So for me, I'm just going to grab my 10-pound dumbbell. You just need something that you can hold that will add weight. I always place this in the side of the leg that's going to be moving. Put my right foot firmly on the floor, got my grip, and I'm just going to be stepping back into my lunge position, drop down, and stand back up. Good. Same beautiful form, straight down. We're just adding weight. Okay? Beautiful. Just a look from the other side, just for thoroughness sake. Beautiful. Left hip, right by the left leg. Get my nice wide angle. Dropping down, pressing back up. Beautiful. Okay, love it. So, just as you would imagine, you have the weight. Another way to add a little bit more difficulty for the next progression is to add the slider and the weight. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, we've got the weight in the left hand. We have the paper plate under the left foot. Okay, so now we've got the weight. We've got the paper plate giving us the sliding challenge. And we've got the weight and the paper plate. Beautiful. This is what it looks like from the other side. Same thing. Left hip by left hand. Weight is in the right hand. Paper plate is under the right foot. We're going to slide back and lift back up. Beautiful. Hear the ankles popping a little bit. Perfect. Well done. Okay, so before we move on to the final progression, I just want to emphasize these movements are sufficient. If you're doing these 2 to 3 times a week as part of your workout, your legs will get stronger, especially if you're doing them in combination with the squat exercises that I also demonstrated in another video. So don't be in a hurry. But for those of you who want to see where things can end up, I'm going to show you what it looks like to be balancing on one foot and doing that same motion. So let's take a look. So I started training for balance lunges. Some people call this a single leg squat. People call things all different names. But I started training for this when my kids started playing sports. Because in sports, actually in life as well, we're often landing and taking off and moving and absorbing shock on one foot at a time. So it's very rare in life when something happens, we're set in that ready position that your coach has taught you. It's more likely that we're launching off one leg, we're catching ourselves off balance, and being able to really strengthen that single leg in a very unstable position can really bring a lot of strength. That said, this is not an easy exercise. So I'd say at the very least, if you get to a place where you feel like you want to try this, have a wall close by that you can put your hand on if you need it. Okay, this is how I taught both my kids how to do this. This is how I taught clients. You want something close by that you can grab if you need it for balance. So we're going to start with placing one foot on the seat behind us. And notice that my foot is laying flat. So just the same way that you kick a soccer ball with your laces, you want to relax that back foot. You have to get a really big angle here, just like you do on the floor. And so part of the challenge is just getting your front foot out far enough that when you drop that back knee back toward the chair, your knee is staying over your ankle. So when you see people get set up to do this position at the gym, you'll see them get in position and then give another good hop. What they're doing is increasing that angle, making sure it's wide enough that when they go down, you're not moving forward. So I'm going to show you what the motion looks like. You're going to drop down, and you're going to press right back up. It's very challenging on that front leg. It's also a deep hip stretch on the back leg. Okay, the knee is dropping and rotating back toward the chair. Beautiful. So I'll show you from the other side just so that you can have a view from both perspectives. You're going to have to kick that foot up onto the seat. Beautiful. Make sure that angle is wide enough. You'll know the first time you go down if you need to hop out. It's also a good one to have somebody watch you. Drop down, push right back up. Notice my hand position. Eventually, I may want to be holding a medicine ball, or I may hold dumbbells here. Okay, so your hands need to get used to being free and not pressing on your thigh. That makes sense. Beautiful. Well done. Don't be in a hurry to go to the single leg balance lunges. They're difficult. And it's really important, to be honest, that the form is correct. You have something there for balance if you need it. So having a friend or somebody that can watch you or taking a video of yourself doing it will be super helpful, making sure that the form and technique are correct. I hope you enjoyed these lunge progressions. I look forward to hearing which progression works best for you and how you get stronger over time. Thanks for watching, guys.